The Game Boy Advance had an incredible library, packed with legendary titles like Pokemon, Zelda, and Metroid. But what about hidden gems? The games that didn't make that bestseller list but were still awesome. Well, today we're going to dive into some of the most uncommon and surprisingly good GBA games that you might have missed. And I missed a lot of them because I had a GBA back in the day until I broke it on a wall and I got very upset. But there were so many games and none of them on this list I actually played back in the day. So grab your link cable or just sit back, chill out and relax, and let's look at some GBA games that you really should know about. Now if you do like this video and believe I've earned it, please hit that like and subscribe button as well as the notification bell to be notified of our next video. It's a small thing for you guys, but for me it just means so much. If you want to support the show financially, you can do it at patreon.com/retrowars, where you get to become involved in the weekly podcast, join our community, the Smut Squad, and receive your own additional podcast every week. Right, let me know in the comments what's your favourite underrated GBA game. Let's get into this list, shall we? Those unexpected gems from the GBA. Drill Dozer. First up, Drill Dozer. Now, see, this was developed by Game Freak. Yeah, the Pokemon guys. They made another game. This is a game that's action-packed platformer based with a unique twist, where the core gameplay revolves around you using a drill to break barriers, solve puzzles, and defeat enemies in creative ways. It's kind of really good because as you go through, you pick up drill bits, and this gives you access to areas like Metroidvania style, although not to the same extent. The game is beautiful with colourful pixel art and great animations that make the game pop. It also has an inbuilt rumble for extra immersion, and you're going to feel a lot because you're going to be using that drill all the time. But you can even hear some of the same sound effects as Pokemon, and it's a shame this series hasn't really continued because the game's ace. Ninja 5-0. Ryu swings in between platforms, slices enemies. Yeah, not Ryu from Street Fighter, but have you ever wondered if Shinobi and Bionic Commando had a baby? Well, that's pretty much Ninja 5-0. As Ryu, you've got to master using your ninja rope, which lets you swing across levels with style, or be a ninja Spider-Man. You can get a katana, throwing stars, and ninja magic, but don't worry, those enemies aren't going to go down without a fight. It's always good when enemies just don't want to die in front of you. Each stage is well crafted with hidden secrets and hostage to rescue, which means it's going to take you a while to finish the whole thing. It was very much overlooked on release, but is now considered one of the best games on the handheld console. Lady Seer. Now here's an early GBA title that just deserves so much more. It's Lady Seer. It plays like a mix of Prince and Persia and other classic platformers. It has really beautiful hand-drawn animation, because the animations in the backgrounds look like they've just come out of a storybook. And believe me, my daughter's nearly 6, so I read a lot of storybooks and I just feel like I could jump in the world. The combat is great, you'll be able to use your sword in very stylish combos, and it's always good when you can have a fluid dance of battle and death. The game features precise jumps, tricky enemies, and rewarding exploration, so again, there's loads for you to sink your teeth in here. The game itself, as you can imagine, features Lady Seer, who is a strong female protagonist in an era that was quite rare in action games, but it's always good to see, and don't quote me with Samus, I know we have Samus, I'm just making a point. Sigma Star Saga. Now, as this game is an ambitious hybrid of an RPG and a space shooter, it sounds quite weird, doesn't it? But it really works, and it manages to blend those two genres together. The overworld is a Zelda-style adventure, but battles are Gradius-style space combat. See, you can put things together and they'll work. Look, ActRaiser for example, that's weird and that works. You have the ability for upgradable ships, and you can equip different weapons and ship parts for unique builds. Yeah, just make the ship you want to build. It has an engaging story with a deep sci-fi narrative with multiple endings, so it means you've got different playthroughs all the time. The game itself could be seen as a bit of an experiment, but that's fine because there's nothing quite like it on the GBA, and maybe the GBA was the platform to use experiments like this. The Invincible Iron Man. Yeah, an Iron Man game. See, before the MCU made him a superstar, Iron Man had a shockingly good GBA action game. I know, because most video games, especially with Marvel characters, are quite poo back in those days. Come at me, they were. It had a solid combat system where you could punch, blast, and hover while taking down enemies. There was great level variety from city rooftops to underground bases, keeping things fresh. There was satisfying flight mechanics, with short hover bursts let you navigate tricky platforming sections. Take note, Superman 64. Take note. And it was faithful to the character, so it felt like a really true Iron Man experience, even before modern day superhero games. Although now I wonder if they try and get Robbie Downey Jr. to voice the thing. Although, maybe not. He dead. Well, not he dead. Tony Stark dead. Although coming back. Confusing, I know. Saberwolf. Now, this is a forgotten Rareware classic. Saberwolf combines puzzle-solving skills with fast-paced chases. And it's a Rareware game, so you know it's going to be good. You have to collect and use different animals to overcome some of the obstacles. After grabbing the treasure, you have to run from your wife. Oh god, I actually wrote run from your wife. No, we'll keep that, because that's what I normally have to do. But yeah, you have to run from your life from the relentless Saberwolf. Although, run from your wife probably fits in just as well. It had that rare humour, with quirky characters and witty dialogue making it a fun adventure. But no Cranky Kong in this one. There were also hidden collectibles, which meant you could get cool upgrades and hidden paths. And finally, Gunstar Superheroes. Yes, Gunstar Superheroes is a spiritual successor to the legendary Gunstar Heroes on the Sega Mega Drive or Genesis. It has fast-paced run-and-gun gunplay, tons of enemies, big bosses, and non-stop action, and we love that. It had a huge variety in levels, with side-scrolling, top-down shooter sections, and even a Space Harrier style sequence. But some of the boss fights were absolutely amazing, which had multi-style phase battles, and you kinda like it when you do this. And it was polished to absolute perfection, with every frame being packed with detailed sprites and effects, and really was the sequel that Gunstar Heroes needed. And there you have it, 7 underrated games on the GBA. Now, which ones of those have you played? And let me know in the comments below. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe for more retro gaming content. And as I said at the beginning, you've also got patreon.com/RetroWars if you want to help the show financially. Until next time, I'll see you all in a few days. My name's been Danny. Take care.